Okay guys, we are in the Alfa Romeo Giulia Veloce. I just started up, of course, and I'm going to take you on a quick tour outside if you have not watched my full review video on this car. We have it in this beautiful shade of red over here. It's not the tricolor metallic red, but it's still absolutely gorgeous. Blacked out headlights, blacked out side mirrors. We have the dark roof with the panoramic glass in there. Oh, quasi panoramic glass. Darked out grille as well. Full LED headlights. Absolutely gorgeous vehicle. I love Alfa Romeo's 5-spoke wheels over here. I believe these are 19 inches on this model. They look stunning with the red brake calipers as well. I think it looks awesome. We have Veloce right there on the side. Of course, the signature Alfa Romeo Giorgio platform, developed with Ferrari, of course. Carbon fiber drive shaft on all Giulias as well, which is really cool. Helps to lighten the weight. Well, diffuser situation going on down here. Dual on black exhaust as well. And it looks absolutely gorgeous in this light right now. Keyless access, of course. Black interior with the sports seats. Really feel fantastic. Doesn't have the upgraded audio system or leather on the dash, but it's still a gorgeous car. Of course, you have those metal paddle shifters that's top inside. Stops beeping. Let's take this thing on a drive. Under the hood, we have a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, like all Giulias that are not the Quadrifoglio, making around 280-ish horsepower through an 8-speed ZF gearbox. It's a pretty nice engine. I wish there was more power in between the Quadrifoglio and the regular Giulias, but it's still a fantastic car to drive. This one has a mechanical limited slip rear differential. Love the steering wheel as well. Of course, like I said, we have those metal paddle shifters. Sound incredible. Manual mode. We're in dynamic mode right now, so it kind of like makes everything a little bit more heightened. And let's take this on a drive right now. I'm going to shut up because this first part of this road is really beautiful. I'll open the windows for you guys a little bit, and then we'll take this on a real drive. Let's go. So guys, in the Giulia Veloce. Now it is unfortunate that, what is this UPS truck doing? All Giulias have this fantastic steering, and it's super direct, darty. It's just awesome of a steering rack. This one does have the limited slip differential, like I said before too, so it's going to help you have a little bit more sharper handling, which I think is fantastic. Are pretty decent. The newer Alfa Romeo Giulias and Stelvios are pretty much fine. They kind of worked out all the kinks at this point, and I wouldn't really worry too much about it. And you are really getting a wonderful driving experience. I wish they were priced better in the States. It's just a little bit much right now, especially in comparison to like a 3 Series or something, but you are really paying for this driving experience. Now this one, like I said before, doesn't have the adaptive suspension. So you can soften the adaptive suspension up a little bit more than you can with this one. The regular suspension is honestly fine. It handles bumps pretty well. I don't really notice them too much. And I think it's just the right amount of stiffness for this car. It would be nice to try out the adaptive suspension in like an Estrema or in the Quadrifoglio models, but I don't think you're going to be really dying to get it that much, to spend that extra money to shell out to just get for the suspension, because I think the Giulia drives very fine for the car it is right now without it. Oh, we got a C8 Corvette right over there, matte black too. Awesome. And like I said before, the just general handling of this car is really fantastic. It's sharp, it's quick enough. And once you really get into like some more twistier corners and that type of environment, that's where the fun really kind of comes out with the Giulia. Now, everyone has always really talked about these Giulias that they wish there was kind of like a mid-spec model to kind of bridge the gap between the Quadrifoglio and the regular Giulias in terms of engine. Now, they've kind of done this with like adding in features throughout the lineup, but they never changed or adding in another engine. You either have this 2-liter 4-cylinder or the 2.9-liter twin-turbo V6, and there's nothing in between that. And there's a huge power gap. You're getting either 280 horsepower or 510 horsepower, 505 horsepower, around what it is. I wish there was something in that kind of in that middle sweet spot of like maybe 375 or something, or 400, kind of go a little bit more head to head with like those mid-tier models that we have from BMW, like the M340i or the C43 from Mercedes. I think they're really missing out on that. I think that's a huge chunk of the market right now, where people kind of want these kind of mid-tier performance models and not necessarily going all out like a full-on AMG or a full-on M car or a full-on Quadrifoglio, for example. So I wish Alfa Romeo had introduced that. Maybe we'll see something come out when the other EVs come out with different power levels, but I think that was a huge miss for them. It probably would have helped sales a little bit more with the Stelvio and Giulia platform. And these seats, like I said, are really, really comfortable for me because I can fit in them, but the bolstering is just incredible. For just a general sports seat, these are pretty aggressive. I also think they are comfortable too, actually. I haven't had any issues with them. And they feel very well built and high quality. So let's take it on a little bit more of a twistier road right now. Might as well pop it into manual mode, because why not? This ZF 8-speed is just a fantastic transmission as well. And with that rear diff, you really can feel it throughout corners. When you're on the power, it really puts that power down for you getting out of those corners. Now, this is a all-wheel drive vehicle, of course, but it is fully and completely rear biased. There's actually an indicator on here that will show you where the power is being distributed. I don't want to really sort through these menus to find it, but most of the time it's putting that power to the rear wheels, and then only when you kind of need that front grip, it will kind of put it towards up there, which I think is a really nice feature. That's how a real good all-wheel drive system should be working in these kind of sporty, performance-oriented vehicles. And even going through the gears is pretty quick with a ZF 8-speed, and it sounds pretty good too. Especially on the upshifts. It's really nice transmission. Though I wish the red line was a little bit higher. Of course, it is only a 2-liter 4-cylinder, but the red line's around like 5,500 RPM, 56, around that area, so it's pretty low actually. Nonetheless, you do get up and going pretty quickly, so it's not bad. And you can, I say can, return pretty decent fuel economy on the Giulia if you aren't driving it like a maniac all the time. You can get into the 30s in the miles per gallon if you really are trying hard. So you can pop it right down into normal and then advanced efficiency, which is A, and that is kind of where it's going to be a little bit more tamer. Like the throttle pedal decreases its kind of sensitivity, steering kind of relaxes a little bit. You have a torque limiter on the engine, so it's not as torquey off the line. So it really does go into like a more like full comfort setting. There's a lot more changing around than just like silly little things, which I do like. And riding around town, we have the 19-inch wheel options. There's a little, well, actually, there's a lot of tire noise coming from the front end. I definitely can hear it. I'm not sure if it would be different with the 18-inch wheels, but I can definitely hear a significant amount of tire noise on the front end over here on this particular model. Let's make a little bit of a U-turn here. Head back down around that road. But general road noise and wind noise in here is pretty quiet. I think they've, again, sorted that out pretty well over the years. So it's nothing too crazy. And you can always access manual mode in any of the drive modes as well. We're in advanced efficiency now. We're also in manual mode. Let me go pop it into dynamic again. You're also, again, in manual mode. this is a pretty bumpy pit road over here, and like I said, the suspension does pretty fine. It's not even too stiff that I'm like, oh my gosh, that hurts. You don't even feel it in your back. So I think the suspension and this regular non-adaptive suspension version is more than fine for your daily needs. And even taking off from a second gear start, plenty of power and torque, especially in dynamic mode. You might want to change it if you're in a lower mode and you want a little bit more go, but yeah, it's just a nice car to drive. If there's any complaints in here, there'll be a little bit of a glare from the sun that's coming onto the screen. I can't really even see it too much with that sun glare. And also, these turn stalk indicators are really annoying. It's one of those where you kind of have to like double tap it the other direction to like turn it off to cancel it out. It's a little annoying sometimes, but you know, it's something you have to deal with. Again, it's one of those things you'll get used to over time too. There we go. Nice amount of power out of this engine too. And manual mode is really fun in this car, especially with these paddle shifters. Like, it not only does it like have decently quick shifts, but these paddle shifters really just make that whole experience feel way more connected. I think my favorite part about the Giulia platform in general too, is how tight and kind of connected both you feel as a driver to the chassis in the car, as well as just like how the car itself handles itself and feels. I mean, it feels like you're in one like solid piece, and everything's kind of like working together and very dynamic in that sense. And funnily enough, I have not driven a Quadrifoglio Giulia. I have driven the Quadrifoglio Stelvio. I do like it quite a lot, but I'm very curious to see the Giulia Quadrifolios. That's actually a rear-wheel drive. Stelvio QV is only in all-wheel drive. Of course, it's heavily rear biased, but one weird little tidbit, and honestly, it is pretty quicker than the Giulia QV, but I think the rear-wheel drive is a little bit more fun to handle around with on a daily basis. Yeah, that's just summing up the experience of the Giulia Veloce. And this one currently is a pretty good deal, actually, depending on when this video comes out. It's only $42,000, 1,900 miles on the clock, and it's basically brand new. It's only for sale because, well, our old Alfa Romeo dealership closed where I work at, so this is what we have right now. But nonetheless, if you are interested in this, I would definitely check out Giulia Veloce. Definitely go drive one. They're fantastic cars to drive, and they look fantastic. You'll always get cool looks driving them, and I think they're always worth the money. But that's up to you. Thank you guys for joining me on this video, and stay tuned for a lot more coming from Allcarnews real soon. Cheers.